My nephew got my daughter a terrible gift, so I kicked him out. My 40-year-old female daughter, 16-year-old female, has spent a lot of time in hospitals, has had tons of surgeries. A lot of these conditions also cause extreme pain and limit her ability to do a lot of the things she wanted to do. My nephew, 18-year-old male, is a bit of a prankster and has done some pretty bad things in the past.
Oh no.
I love a good prankster. In
Maybe
reason.
he takes it too far.
In reason. By the way, this comes from Experience4284 on the OKstorytime subreddit. So her birthday was yesterday and we had family come over, obviously masked, vaccinated, tests before coming over and after, and we were opening gifts. My nephew had gotten her a customized clock and it had a poem on it. Okay, sweet so far.
Yeah.
The pictures were replacing the numbers on the clock and of her, oh my God, in the hospital beds.
What? So so he's got a clock and on all of the numbers it's her in hospital beds.
That is so wildly awful.
Why?
Like, is it making fun of her?
I have no idea.
Is it just like being cruel?
Keep reading.
I don't know how to get a hold of them, as it's mainly my sister, his mom, or my husband's family that had them. The poem was about happy memories and how he hopes she makes more of them in the future. Okay. My daughter started tearing up at it, and when I read it, I got pissed and told them to leave. My sister told me she wouldn't, as her son was just joking. What was he joking about?
Yeah, what was the joke?
I said that this goes beyond jokes and I wouldn't allow it in my house. She said I was overreacting and my son, 18-year-old male, had to step in and lead them out. Now, a lot of this family is mad at me, saying I overreacted and I'm taking things too seriously and need to lighten up a bit, and I'm starting to feel that they are right. Am I the a-hole? We are missing so much context.
I'm a little bit confused by what the card is, honestly. Like what the joke is.
Princess X. She said, is it like it's cancer time?
I don't know. Yeah, like I'm a little bit confused. I think I need more information.
We need a lot of more information. Yeah. Okay, OP responded to a comment. Yeah, hopefully they provide that. Okay, I'm just going to jump on this comment so this doesn't get buried. I'm pretty sure OP is my aunt, and I'm the guy who is an a-hole. No way.
We're getting the other side.
Does this ever happen?
Yeah, we get it sometimes.
I've never
seen this. My favorite thing. We're getting the other side.
I've never seen this. Can you read it again? I think I will.
You want just the description of the card?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were opening gifts, and my nephew had gotten her a customized clock and had a poem on it. The pictures were replacing the numbers on the clock and of her in hospital beds. I don't know how he got a hold of them, as it's mainly my sister/his mom or my husband's family that had them. The poem was about happy memories and how he hopes she makes more of them in the future.
Ellie says it's like he's saying life has been crap, hope it gets better, but it's awful. Okay, now read his. I want his side.
Yeah, we're going to hear his side. But why did he said it's a joke? If it was supposed to be sweet, why?
I know,
yeah.
What's the joke?
I'm pretty sure OP is my aunt and I'm the guy who's an a-hole, but my aunt is leaving something out. She was leaving a lot out.
Yeah.
My cousin has always been sick, and yeah, she's been in and out of hospitals all her life.
He's like, I've only ever seen her in hospital beds. I didn't have any other pictures of her.
Yeah, maybe. Aunt can't really handle it. She keeps talking about how her daughter never had a life and never will until she gets well, though cousin won't ever be well. Her condition is chronic and painful, but it's not going to get much better than it is, and yeah, that sucks. But it feels like her mom can't accept that and keep focusing on her daughter getting better. Yeah, I mean, her daughter's sick, and as a mother, you would only want your daughter to get better.
I don't know if this guy's helping himself.
Yeah, I think you're digging a bigger hole. But I think that cousin's life can't wait for that, because that'll never happen. But if anyone tries to talk about that to Aunt, she flips out and starts screaming that her daughter will be fine and be able to do everything. I just stopped talking about it completely around her. It's also not your place. Like, the mom is in her own process.
Yeah,
like
she's dealing with something really hard.
Sick daughter.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that as a parent. It's not really your place to like tell her like get over
this is how you should feel
or
about
get on
it.
or have this perspective.
Yeah.
But cousin's been really down about it lately with the pandemic and lockdown, and all she's been able to do even less and never see any of her friends or anything, and she and I have been talking about it. She said she had no life and never had been happy and never would, because she'd never be fine. I try to cheer her up and remind her that though a lot of it did suck, there were good times too, and times she laughed, like when I taught her to do card tricks, or that time when we raced up and down the hospital corridor and she kept winning because she was in a wheelchair and a lot faster. We ended up laughing about a lot of stuff, and she shared some of the times she was happy. After that, she said she felt a lot better about everything. That gave me the idea for the gift, something to remind her that even when she was in hospital and everything sucked, there were good times too. And though she'll be spending a lot of her life in hospital beds, there will always been good times and laughter along with the bad stuff. So I got some pictures off my mom and some other family trying to get pictures of those times. She told me about when she was happy. The clock wasn't me being fake deep. Cousin once told me that when the pain was really bad and the doctors wouldn't give her pain meds because it wasn't good for her to get them, she'd stare at the clock on the wall and follow it with her eyes as it ticked the seconds, just keeping her mind on getting through from one second to the next. This is heavy. This is a lot.
I am starting to think maybe he's just got a different relationship with his cousin.
Yeah, it seemed like a sweet.
Yeah, it seems good. It seems like maybe the aunt just doesn't understand the relationship they have.
For sure. And maybe like jumped to
conclusions.
Which makes sense. I mean,
she's protective.
Yeah. You're allowed to be triggered quite easily, or you're allowed to be sensitive when you're going through this. But it wouldn't make it easier for her, but that way she could get through it. So I wanted to give her something else she could look at and remember that even if things were really, really bad right now, there'd be times where it wasn't as bad. So that seems like it's something genuine and actually something really sweet. It's something like he tried to do nice for
I think so.
His
okay,
cousin.
okay, he's coming back.
He's coming
back around.
And okay, the poem was really cringe, but I thought it would make her laugh because it was so bad. It was fun. What's this poem?
He said it was something about time and enjoying your life and blah blah blah.
Okay. Sophia Cologne, OMG, that clock thing is so real. I only felt it once when I got sepsis, so I can imagine what his cousin goes through so often. Yeah, to just be confined in a hospital bed for your whole life.
Yeah.
Just can't imagine how awful that is. But when she opened it, she just burst into tears, and my aunt started yelling at me, and then her and mom started arguing. So yeah, it seems like
she burst into tears because she was, not necessarily negative tears, but it was like
it seems
overwhelmed
like she was
with
touched
emotion.
by it.
Yeah, touched.
So I just sat there like an idiot because I felt horrible. I know I could be a jerk at times and thoughtless, but I honestly didn't think she'd be upset. I texted cousin later and apologized for making her cry. She wrote back apologizing for crying, saying she did like it, but when she saw it, she just felt overwhelmed. That makes sense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the mother rushed in. She was being overprotective and was like,
but yeah,
she's crying.
Coming from like a, makes sense.
It seems like this was all a misunderstanding.
Yeah. She also asked if I had a copy of the poem because she wanted to hang it on her wall. But her mom had it taken and the clock and wouldn't give them to her.
Okay, that's messed up.
If she's touched by it and enjoys it.
You don't get to decide what she is, what she can and can't have in her life.
And if you don't want us to decide your decision, join us live on YouTube every weekday at 3 p.m. PST. Just tap our profile.
Just tap it.
There's another relevant update, but let's discuss. Yeah, it seemed like the cousin was coming from a sweet, generous place. It seemed like the OP's daughter was touched by it and thought it was sweet, emotion, but was overwhelmed in general. And then the mom was being protective and rushed in to protect her daughter, which makes sense on everyone's part.
Yeah, so I think this is just like hopefully they can all have a conversation and be like, hey, a lot of overreactions, let's calm down.
Yeah, but I'm not sure I could believe her. Cousin will always make sure everyone around her is okay when she's the one hurting the most. Seeing all the verdicts here about aunt not being an a-hole makes me think I just effed up a lot and should apologize to cousin, though I just meant to remind her that there were good times too. He did apologize to cousin.
You already apologized, and she said there was nothing to apologize for.
Yeah, I know I can be a jerk at times and an a-hole, and I guess I really messed this up. Adding, this is an account I made just for this. Everything is enough of a mess without the whole internet knowing who I really am. So
I think there was this, I think everyone's just kind of going through a really hard situation with someone who is sick, very sick, and they're all kind of walking on eggshells. And I think sometimes people interact with very sick people differently. You have some people who are overprotective and
especially if you're related, if it's your daughter.
Exactly. Trying to be helpful, trying to be, caring and stuff. And then you have some people who are trying to, make light of the situation, not in a bad way, just like
trying to bring levity
and humor.
Situation that's ongoingly heavy and dark.
And so sometimes those clash, and I think that's what's happening. I don't know if there's necessarily. I think the mom. Yeah, Harriet Spaghetti says mom's not actually listening to her daughter though. I think there's a lot of miscommunication going on.
Yeah, and I think she's triggered. And is trying to protect her daughter, and I don't think it's selfish. I think she's just like not in a state to like actually see it from a different lens, but
I think she should. I do agree though that sometimes when you're coming from a place of protectiveness, you can go too far.
Yeah.
And it seems like the daughter is at a place where she's able to know her own mind and know her own wants. And I think the mom just needs to listen a little bit harder.
Sure. There's room to approach this differently. Yeah. But also life is freaking messy.
Yeah.
Especially when there's like ongoing sickness and hardship.
It's so
and
hard.
There's no manual. And so I think everyone in the story is trying their best.
Yeah.
And no one's going to do it perfect.
I agree. Eliana Bain says, I don't think the mom is terrible. This has to be incredibly difficult for everyone, including mom. I agree with that.
Yeah.
And then Glitter Knot says mom needs therapy or support group with other parents with children with
For
chronic
sure,
illness.
yeah.
I completely agree. Yeah. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, everyone in the story loves that girl and they're just trying to help.
Yeah. Yep.